Elio guys, and welcome back. And in today's video we're taking a look at our newest exotic astromon. Yes people, finally something else hopefully of interest. Here we have Coco. Now I do like Coco's design. Obviously it's a monster, which this game is called Monster Super League, but he kind of reminds me of Vivi from Final Fantasy IX. Maybe it's just the face and the hat and the staff and all the baggy clothes, but we're not here to talk about that here today. I do want to also point out its name. I didn't read the story if it's a boy or girl. It's a video game at the end of the day here, but for whatever reason, my mind when I first saw this was like, is this called cocaine? But I was like, it's actually called Cocoian? Cocoian? Is that how you say it? But whatever, like I just got like jumbled up here. I was like, did they make a typo and call this dude cocaine? Anyways, hopefully you guys don't know what that is. I don't either, so don't Google it. But yeah, let's take a look at the first version of Coco that I have pulled up here, which is the fire version, who is a tank type coming in with 36k HP, 1.7k attack, and then 1.8k defense. I'm over here looking at the freaking stars up there, Nat 3. Makes sense. This is a scenario where you have a decent HP stat, but your defense means that you're obviously just going to get plastered, so be wary. But the Nat 3 League is capable of using this astromon or maybe the RGB in case they are useful and you're into that type of thing here. But starting off here with the skills, 3-star skill, 70% chance for blind for 2 turns, and then for the 5-star skill it has an AoE adrenaline, which restores allies HP equal to the amount of 10% of Coco's HP, and then also the variant skill is defensive stance, which lowers the enemy's attack power. Okay, so decent leader skill actually. Interesting. And then it's also an AoE for the 5-star skill, even though I said, you know, AoE for the adrenaline here. Very important to point out, that way I'm not giving you guys wrong information here. But this really seems honestly like an Apophis astromon. I mean, good variant leader skill. You do have blind, and then, you know, once blind gets sticking and you get some SP given to this astromon, can kind of help to top up the squad, hopefully make them survive a little bit longer in case your healers are busy. And that seems to be pretty much it. I mean, outside of that, the only other scenario where blind is really useful at would be Titans, but I don't know how many people out there are like dedicated to hitting Light Titan, for example. But take a look at the skill books. Blind does receive a 20% damage boost and goes up to, what was that? I've forgotten already with my pea-sized brain. 80% chance for 2 turns, and then adrenaline gets a 25% damage boost. 1.7k attack stat. We're not here to talk about that. So, I mean, the blind part is cool. Books will be super cheap and easy to get. I wouldn't really use astromon outside of the Apophis dungeon though, because those stats, even with a Nat 3 League, what is blind and adrenaline going to do for you? If you're a new player out there, feel free to test it out and let me know, because spoiler alert, I don't think it's going to do much. Alright, and then moving forward here, look at that happy face. We do have Coco here, the water version, who is a balanced type coming in with 29k HP. I'm just going to say 30k HP, 2.1k attack, and then 2.3k defense. Very like attacker status defense stat right there, but I would argue, you know, a decent stat distribution in compared to the fire one already, so I'm very interested in that. But let's take a look at these skills, because you could have the best stats in the world, but if your skills are garbage, no one's going to use you. Anyways, the 3-star skill, defense down, 60% chance for 2 turns, and then for the 5-star skill, defense up. Of course, for all allies. Once again, that lovely leader skill kind of takes into effect here. I would say there's some promise here. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking whatsoever, but I could definitely see some usage right there. Defense down comes in with the debuffs, and then obviously we have the lovely defense up, which kind of reminds me of someone else. Let me see here with the bot, because it seems oddly familiar. I think I was thinking of like Katine, but Katine has maybe shield breaker and defense up instead. Its later skill is defense down. It's not the actual skill itself. Yeah, shield breaker and defense up. Okay, that's what was getting a little bit twisted in my head, seeing a water astromon. But we also have mildew, or whatever the heck its name is. That does it do the same thing? Expose weakness and defense up. Okay, so he's filling in that slot. Okay, I mean, There's not much usage in terms of this for the Apophis dungeon, but if you want to maybe slide this in over here to Titans, especially in terms of hitting Fire Titan, I think that's okay, especially if you're in a process of just beginning the game, hitting Titans, you don't really have your water cures buffed up and ready to go. You know, give it a shot and see how it works out for you. Outside of that type of content here, this could definitely be useful for maybe something like Colossus, depending on what other astromon that you have, and maybe even like the Water Tower of Chaos. I mean, I know it's a big stretch here. I haven't really gotten super far into there, but overall the kit is fine, and he fits in with the other Nat 3s like Mildew and Katyn in terms of their uses as well. But let's take a look at the skill books here. So defense down does get a 20% damage increase and goes up to 80% chance for 2 turns. Defense up goes up to 3 turns. Okay. And gets a 20% damage increase as well. So especially if you're creative here, I definitely think this mon could be once again used at some point in time. Will it be phased out, of course? Absolutely. But for the time being, you got to use what you have. We'll keep it moving here. We have the wood version of Coco, who's also a balanced type, coming in with 31k HP, 2k attack, and then 1.9k defense. Just another day in MSL with the wood astromon getting gimped every single time. So 3-star skills, recovery seal, 100% chance to prevent the enemy from recovering their HP for 2 turns. 5-star skills, sap, 60% chance for 2 types of sap for 2 turns. Decent sap. The recovery seal though is a bit odd because outside of maybe particular situations in PvP, I haven't really used recovery seal or felt a need for it, though I could be wrong or just not that creative here. So very situational, but I guess if it works, it works. Maybe this works inside the Wood Tower of Chaos too. I keep throwing that out here, even though I haven't really done the Tower of Chaos outside of the one that we get to do every single month here, but nothing really rings a bell outside of that. I mean, if you have some type of creative insight for Wood Coco, feel free to go and leave that in the comments below, but at this point I would Evo 3 this thing and probably just let it go in general. But recovery still does receive, what is that, 35% damage increase, 2k attack stat. I guess why not. Sap also receives a 10% damage increase and goes up to, what was that, the very awkward and just bizarre 75% chance. 2 types of sap. I guess it's not too terrible, but at the same time, this is a Capture Fest astromon, and you could always just build Water Sea Star, which is a lot better sapper, so interesting. Keeping things rolling along here though, we do have another balanced type of Coco, but this one is a light version. They really like that balance action for whatever reason here, but this one's also a Nat 4, so maybe it will be more interesting. But anyways, 30k HP stat, 2.6k attack stat, and then a 2.6k just about defense stat as well. I mean, it's okay. I still feel like this astromon would get blasted, but you know, we'll talk about that later. Anyways, the 3-star skill is Shock, 50% chance for 2 turns. Dirt Nasty low. 5-star skill is Petrification, 80% chance for 1 turn. It is an AoE, decent percentage, but the whole issue with Petrification is it's good for stalling or if you can time things right. Though I do want to say, in terms of like the Persephone video a while back, someone mentioned maybe using like an interesting kind of like sap combo or something with Petrification. I just never really tried that out in PvP because nowadays it's either like stall until you die, or it's like going there to blast people, they pass away and you move on. Like there's no in between nowadays. So feel free to experiment with that, you know, if you want to, but the shock by itself is So let's take a look at the books here. So Shock does get a 20% damage increase and goes up to 70% chance for 2 turns. I guess it's okay as an entry-level Shock astromon. Obviously other mons like Yuki or even Banshee at this point would be better, but if you just began the game, something's better than nothing. Petrification also goes up to, what was that, 90% for a turn, 15% damage increase. I guess it's a cool astromon to have, but in terms of practicality, no. There's other Nat 4s with better books on their skills. There's other Nat 4s with super evolutions. Why in the hell would I use this? Why would anyone use this other than this is the only thing that they can use? And then moving on here, last but not least, we do have the dark version of Coco, who is a defender type, coming in with 29k HP, 1.9k attack, and then 3.2k defense. Nat 4, I'll let it slide. HP could be a little bit higher, but I'll let it slide. Attack set doesn't really matter because, congratulations, this is a defender. They should have a lot of defense. But let's take a look at these skills here. So for the 3-star skill, it's 100% chance for 2 turns of resistance down. Very good skill, very universal at this point in time. And then for the 5-star skill, it has curse, 80% chance to inflict curse on the enemies for 2 turns. Cursed foes take HP damage, of course, but with a 1.9k attack stat, I would just focus on keeping this astromon alive and have it hopefully spam that 3-star skill. If it can slide in that 5-star skill too, then that is what it is. You know, but unless you're running like a cursed composition, or you have like a Dark Hades, or what is it, Fire Banshee, etc. in the Apophis dungeon, for example, here, this is nothing, you know, too crazy to deal with. So, I mean, the curse stacks would help if they get their fulminating curse off, but this isn't an astromon where I would kind of rely on to do any form of damage, with that being on the 5-star skill, but it is an interesting take too. So, I mean, it does add some versatility to this astromon, and that variant skill, of course, is going to be useful too. So, I'm down with that. Outside of the Apophis dungeon, if you need resistance down, I think there's also Dark Mushi that has that. There's, I think, Light Mira. There's other astromon too, like Light Griffin, but that's on his 5-star skill. So this does kind of provide a little bit more access to players that don't have that many resistance down astromons, because I think one of the bunnies, or maybe 2 of the bunnies, has resistance down too. But those guys are also Capture Festival exclusive, so if you just began the game and you need more resistance down mons, you know, if you can get more than one of these guys, feel free to do so. If not, definitely fuse and get this one, pull a Dark Mushi, and get things popping with that. So I think interesting addition to the resistance down family, and the curse does have kind of a dual usage. Just, you know, it's nothing super incredible here, but resistance down does receive a 25% damage boost. Curse receives a 20% damage boost and goes up to 90% for 2 turns. Once again, this is purely just for stacks where your other curse mons to do more damage. 1.9k attack stat isn't going to do anything for you, but it seems to be pretty much exclusive to the Apophis dungeon. There's also the Fire Coco, who had Blind and then Adrenaline, where you could kind of use him there too. And then what was the other ones real quick, because I've already forgotten. Yep, defense down, defense up. Could be useful in a Titan / Colossus situation depending on where you're at in the game. Wood. Light. So yeah, to pretty much wrap things up here, you guys, I would honestly kind of focus on getting the dark one first, get the light one next in case they ever change it. It's still nice to have for the lovely Astro Guide. Plus you could always throw this as World Boss fodder too. Get it variant, get up to 60, skill bucket, and have at it. But outside of that, I think the fire one does have some uses as well. And if you're not really too interested in the Apophis dungeon, at least for now, I mean, still pick them up, throw them inside the storage, and come back later in case, you know, you somehow get interested. But outside of that, I mean, that's pretty much Coco in a nutshell. Some uses, especially for newer players out there, and then for more of the vets, if you need a certain astromon to fill a slot in for a dungeon or two, he could definitely get the job done, or she. I don't know what, maybe it's just an it, but that is Coco. So nothing too crazy, but I am kind of looking forward to seeing this astromon hopefully play out here on the field. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Feel free to leave in the comments below about, you know, what you guys think about Coco's design, or what may be the most useful one to you. And yeah, I'm going for the dark one, and that's pretty much it. See ya.